Yo, YouTube, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know, looking good, feeling good. We got our energy back. We locked into the videos. We really moving it, grooving it, and schmooving it. I don't know what the fuck I just said, but let's get into the video. How about that? Let's just get into the video. We ain't even got it out no more. We could just hop straight into the video, say what you watching, say who I am. Y'all know who I am, right? I hope y'all do. Anyway, let's get into the video, man. We are watching Aladdin, the Minister of Happy Hands. If you don't know what this anime is from, this is from the anime Magi. One of my favorite animes out there. One of the best animes I watched. Yeah, there's really nothing else to say. This is one of the best animes I ever watched. Extremely good. No complaints about this anime. The only complaint about this anime is I wish it went on longer. Facts. That's the only complaint I have about this anime is I wish it went on longer. Other than that, let's get into the video, man.
Okay. Actually now, to be honest, it's more like 15k. But hey, I originally said 10k by the end of the summer, but that's out the window. Let's do 20. Yeah, the big boy pants are on. So I was originally going to do something else for this episode of 2010's anime, but after seeing the reception of the Sinbad video, I know I have to give you guys the real deal this time. So we'll be covering Magi, just from Aladdin's point of view.
I think I want to watch the Sinbad video too.
And if I had to describe Aladdin,
so we
just
watching
think of the home loan kid, but he's consistently beating the brakes off of any nigga that steps to him. He's really dishing out the jolliest hands of all time, but we want to see how. So cut the small talk, let's go. Now the very first scene is a jinn glazing Aladdin, calling him a king, and telling him that he will grant any wish for him. And check how Aladdin is staring at the globe behind him. If that's Earth, then where the hell did they pick up this jit that they be calling the king? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. The opening of the show goes dumb. Like, what you know about? I go dun, dun.
He not doing it a good job. He not doing the opening a good job. Don't take what the bullshit he's doing for the opening. Do not take his bullshit from the opening.
You hate it. So we see the next scene, and it's this guy named Alibaba getting clowned for wanting to go to the dungeon. And let me tell you something about Alibaba, man. This is the definition of a real nigga. He keeps it a bean. He opens up his carriage and finds Aladdin snacking on his watermelons. But before he even gets to ask Aladdin to pay out, Alibaba's boss pulls up and he's doing the usual fat boss gimmick, you know, the where are the goods, yada yada yada. Next thing you know, he catches Aladdin eating too. I'm gonna say Aladdin from now on. I don't even know how to say it, to be honest. Aladdin a dog though, so he jumps into the man's chest because he thinks that shit is some boobies. He talking about how he loves them so much. Dog, I don't know how to tell you this, but that is a nigga. Anyway, the fat boss starts banging on Alibaba, and now he has to pay it all back. Alibaba's in the trenches though, he's got no bread, and hours later, Aladdin is caught eating his food once again. And they say you only see a real man when they're at their lowest. That's philosophical narratives right there. The idea is Alibaba still shows some sort of hospitality for a kid, despite him eating this nigga's last meal. He shares his thoughts about having to clear the dungeon. Aladdin says he'll join in too, to pay him back on some grody shit. So the next day, they're on the street, and they bump into a woman who turns out to be a slave. Her name is Morgiana. She trips
Morgiana,
shackles around her ankles, and Aladdin, being a real one, uses his flute's special power to just snap them. But being a kid, he doesn't realize why this is, in air quotes, a bad thing, because she belongs, in air quotes, to somebody else. Anyway, all the town people are like,
this was such a, like, when he did it and she just sat right there, you was watching, you was like, damn, like, that's fucked up, like. And then all the, you finna see what the fucked up the sentence is talking about, like, what are y'all talking about? Like, I don't know. As a black person, this shit's different. Like, slavery always hits differently when you're a black person. So, you always feel these moments more. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my god, what has he done? Then the fat dude pulls up and starts beating on Morgiana. A complete straight.
This shit hits your heartstrings for real.
Aladdin can't stand for that shit though, and uses his jinn ego to slime out all the attackers. Alibaba is effectively exploiting the fact that he's with Aladdin by bringing him into the dungeon with him. But hey, a real nigga once told me if you're hungry, you got to eat no matter what. So Alibaba is doing some work for the big bone boss, transports wine. On the way, they get attacked by some sort of monster, and because of this, Morgiana and the kid end up falling into the mouth of the monster. The boss is just like, damn, hey, that's life though. I put my wine back in the carriage. All now the little girl's mom is right there crying, and he's talking about some, I'll pay for the damage. This pisses Alibaba off, so he rocks the shit and decides that he'll change his ways from now on and listen to what his heart tells him. He opens up the mouth with the help of Aladdin, then forces the monster to take some of that Don Julio. This makes it loosen his grip, but he doesn't have enough time to save himself after saving Morgiana and the kid. This is where Aladdin steps in on some aura farming shit with all of the Don Julio on his flying cape. Then he pours that shit in there, saving his new friend. We also find out that Aladdin's wish was for the Jinn Ugo to be his friend. Sorry ass nigga, you all lucky that I didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
I'd be posted up on the top of the Burj Khalifa with
Yeah.
teammates.
They would have said, "What's your wish, Trey?" Shit, to rule the world. No, I'm just playing. I don't even know. Like, I had never really thought about that. Like, if a nigga came up to me like, "What you wish for?" No joke, y'all, on some real shit. I would have wished for a happy family, for real. Like, I know that kind of sound kind of corny, but for real, being stable with a happy family, yeah, that's probably what I would have wished for. Cause there's nothing that I really want or need that I'm just wishing for, you know. So if I was to wish for something, it would be that. Yeah, it would be that.
Be 3 bad biddies on the side. Anyway, the fat boss still talking rubbish, so Ugo silences that BS, and now their adventure is starting. For real this time. They get in the dungeon, and the very first thing that happens is the water going up in flames. Damn, they really don't be playing around. They're going through the dungeon, but Aladdin is low-key just spamming Ugo at any inconvenience, so he straight sleep after doing it enough times. Alibaba tries to use his flute, but doesn't respond to anyone but Aladdin. Alibaba hears some footsteps, and he sees the lord of the country in the dungeon as well as Morgiana. And these three just ego Alibaba and go straight to Aladdin, and they're out there calling him Magi before picking him up and leaving. Alibaba is trying to ask what they're doing, but the lord ain't really into the chat and asks his brute to kill him. It didn't work out too well, so the lord just starts poking the slave and calling him useless. He's spilling 100%.
This shit was so fucking nasty, disgusting. Like, I do not like this nigga right here. So y'all probably see my face change when this nigga pop up. Like, my shit starting to curl up. Like, nigga. Like, you feel me? Like, nigga, what the fuck? Like, I do not like this nigga right here. This nigga was an asshole from the moment from the first pixel he showed on the screen, he was that bitch. He was an asshole. I do not like that.
Concentrate cranberry juice everywhere. The lord basically forces Alibaba to join up with him and go through the dungeon. Alibaba is figuring out some of the traps, and he gets straight deep fried in doing so. And then these guys just go on without him. Aladdin wakes up and he's talking to Morgiana. Then Alibaba comes back. Turns out he actually went the right way. He just leads the other dimwits into a trap, and he takes Aladdin back. Now Morgiana Loki doesn't want to beat her up, but she's the Lord's slave, so she has to start running up walls to hawk them down. I'm not gonna lie, we need to get her doing some sort of sports. Basketball, netball.
Yeah, nigga. Your legs being so strong that you create craters in the wall that you can then place your foot in and keep running up the... Hell nah, buddy. You got it. I'll hop off the cake myself. I'm right here. You gotta do that. Come on, chill out.
Volleyball, nigga, lacrosse. Do they even be jumping in that shit? I'm from Ireland, so no bullshit. I don't even know how that sport works, but hey, it managed to escape nonetheless. They find the true entrance and go through. They end up in the dungeon room, and Morgiana just liver kicks Aladdin. That boy's like 10. Hold back a little. Anyway, the lord's talking crazy to Alibaba, and he decides that he's not really going to just stand for this anymore, so he straps in and starts going to work. He even puts one of his arms behind his back. That's clean. And Alibaba is weaving everything. He even gives him tips while they're fighting. I've never seen anything like this, man. And honestly, this character as a whole is just a bum. So I'm tempted to skip to when we actually don't have to deal with him anymore, but the show must go on. So his bitch ass is like,
hey, if you did skip, I wouldn't complain. Fuck this nigga. You feel me? He's a bum. Nigga ain't got no skills. He ain't got no swords. He just... I don't even know what king he is. Like, he just really a bum ass nigga. Like, he a bum ass nigga. Like, truly, he a bum ass nigga who has slaves. Like, that's all he is.
Morgiana saved me, like that one Clash Royale card, you know, the old Guardian one. She down there teleports over. Luckily, Alibaba blocks, and honestly, now Morgiana is kind of pissing me off because why is she even listening to that moment in the first place? You are in the dungeon, just slime it. Anyway, Alibaba tries to talk no jutsu. She listens and takes his hand. Psych, nigga. She slimes him then and there, and as Lil Durk would say, close that back door, can't get snaked up by my homie. The Lord orders Morgiana.
There's no way he just did that. There's no way he just did that.
Aladdin interferes. The Lord starts yapping about his life story. Aladdin's not really trying to hear all that. The Jinn of the dungeon pops out and declares Alibaba as its owner. Then Aladdin's Jinn just starts chopping and go, but bro, they must have been boys from a long time. Anyway, he starts explaining what Magi are. Long story short, they're the people's people, you know, the king the world chooses, and Aladdin is one of them. Then they realize someone is trying to close off the exit from the outside. More on him later, it will come. They take what they can and start leaving, but Morgiana is still next to that bum. The giant slave tells her to get up out of here, and he holds the lord back from leaving, sacrificing himself too. Anyway, Alibaba and Aladdin are on their separate ways for now.
Real
And
nigga,
Aladdin
real
winds up in
nigga.
this village, which is honestly kind of vibey. You know, it's grassy. They got cows and shit. Ignore that. More importantly, though, the town is basically under constant threat. One of the princesses of Ko arrives, wanted to unify the Ko Empire with the Koga village, but they see it as straight colonization. This one dude even pushes over an innocent lady just for offering up horse milk. Albeit she is offering
this Ko Empire shit. Hold on, cause I just realized what he said. If a bitch offered me some fucking horse milk too, I might push her over too. I ain't gonna lie, eat that grass, bitch. You might deserve that. But the whole village, they didn't deserve that. You feel me? The Ko Empire, they are just on some colonization. They on their Christopher Columbus shit right now. You feel me? They on peaceful. We just wanna coexist. We just wanna coexist. And then y'all see. Y'all see. Y'all see who they really are.
The village soldiers defends a lady, and the other guy just straight up declares he's going to colonize the shit out of them before leaving. Aladdin pulls up a red, and she's sharing how
they just stop faking it. You see, not even 30 seconds after, they just stop faking it. They're like, "Hey, fuck it, y'all don't want to just do this shit peacefully. I would just keep it real. Hey, we was gonna colonize y'all niggas, and we still gonna do it. So be ready."
The unification and promises not to kill anyone. So Aladdin basically is just making sure she's in the green zone. He's basically checking her. When Aladdin returns to the village, they're already low-key getting pillaged. The soldiers have captured the woman and are threatening to do some bullshit.
Yeah,
they even cut off
these
her locks
niggas
for
did
no
not
reason.
waste
the
no
village
time.
Men spin back though for them almost immediately. They
these
hawk
niggas did
them
not
down,
waste no
despite
time.
the granny warning them not to kill any of the other soldiers. Dude over here sees how they done his homegirl, so he couldn't resist packing up his op. They come back to the village elder. Turns out he actually didn't pack him up because, you know, he knew that they'd get turned to a statistic if they went to war. Granny says she'll agree to join up with the Ko Empire, and they all celebrate. Unfortunately, though, she gets shot in the back like 10 seconds later. This world is slimy as hell. Turns out one of the ops just hits her anyway, while also framing the Koga people. Because of this, the general of the Ko Empire is able to enact its plan of forcing a war just for the sport of it. Gren tries to mediate, but the Koga people don't believe her until Granny steps in while still injured and tells them to join the Ko Empire and stand down. The Granny just ends up dying, and now the second in command pulls up, but he doesn't really care what the princess has to say. He's just trying to slime her then and there, so that he can be the leader for himself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
they didn't try to kill the princess who's trying to stop them from having war. Like it's this shit is so good. Like this shit making me want to go watch Magi again, bro. I might watch Magi again after this. Oh, I'm going to start reacting to One Piece on here. I meant to say that. I'm going to start reacting to One Piece on here.
She's also a dungeon capturer, so she got the ability to swipe away all these arrows coming towards her. They just letting it spray though, even if it hits their own men. But like, those men are technically her men too, so she blocks the attacks for them. And because of this, she's losing mad stamina. She ends up getting caught, and just when it looks like it's all over, a breast-loving, always smiling, demon 10-year-old pulls up.
The goat!
He just knocks somebody out. His gin is halfway there, start chopping it up again. Unfortunately, I can't show her gin though because her pepperonis are out. Just know if I happen to be a gin, she will be at the top of my hit list. Anyway, all is well.
I just realized what this freaky ass nigga was talking about.
So now it's showing us Morgiana, who has a couple new friends, but she's still low-key got PTSD from that weirdo lord. Anyway, her little group want to take a path that's permanently blocked off by a group of bandits, so they can't go. Knowing this, and the fact that Morgiana's legs come like 2013 Ronaldo, she decides that she's just gonna go beat the brakes off of them and free up the path. She pulls up under like 20 man deep.
Morgiana cold.
In fact, when the first guy approaches her, she hits that nigga right in the solar plexus, 100% damage. And then she just starts working all of them. Backhand, backflip, Spartan kick. This is looking bad. Anyway, this slave owner getting a boner on the sideline because she'd be a high value asset. So she's attacked by this crow that has poisonous talons. And yeah, she wakes up in a jail cell with this little girl.
I'm doing too much, y'all right. I already seen this before. I'm overreacting. You're right, my bad.
They just decide a sick little girl is not a valuable human, so they straight up feed her to the dogs. And they are forcing Morgiana to watch. But from the dead, out of nowhere, that one of their slaves starts hyping Morgiana up, and he's low-key spitting. So she flips off the platform, jumps down, breaking the shackles. She also lets out this high-pitched scream, scaring off the hyenas. Where does one even learn how to do this? But this is why I mess with Morgiana. I love a woman who stands 10 toes. They release
10 toes, literally 10 toes. She's on 10 of her toes, all 10 of her toes. She's on them.
All the other captives. And hey, somebody tell me what Aladdin is doing here. Anyway, Aladdin decides to travel to Balbad with
I forgot Aladdin was to find
Alibaba.
No reason.
On their way, they see a man you're probably all familiar with, Sinbad. Just this time, he's butt booty naked. Though for some reason, he's still low-key maintaining his natural steez. Anyway, he's naked because he got robbed by thieves.
Yeah, he still got aura, even if he's naked. He still got aura.
Let him get away with it, considering he was changing the landscape with one attack. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch my last video, tap in. Anyway, they get to the town and Sinbad gets stopped at the door for looking like someone on a very bad list. But Jafar, who's all grown up now, lets him in. He offers Morgiana and Aladdin free hospitality in their hotel for as long as they want. We also learn that Sinbad has become king of his own nation, Shindria. Nigga, we made it. Sinbad is there to re-establish trade with the country because he had it with the former king, but he can't because there's a group called the Fog Troop who are actively trying to usurp the monarchy. And they find that the leader of this troop, his name is Miracle Man Alibaba. Anyway, the loser king is basically like, you want to trade, then find a solution, nigga. So Sinbad says, I bet, and takes him up on that
Miracle
offer.
Man
Later,
Alibaba.
Sinbad is introducing Jafar and Mazrur, and turns out Morgiana and Mazrur are from the same place. Aladdin brings out Ugo, and Sinbad realizes, oh shit, that this guy's actually a Magi. Then he starts flexing his achievements because Aladdin knows nothing about him. They group up together, devise a plan to stop the Fog Troop, and night finally falls. And in comes the fog. The fog people have all sorts of abilities, one of them makes people in the fog see illusions, and they take out some of the guards, but Jafar is on that and apprehends most of them, but is caught in the fog that makes it so Jafar cannot move. Morgiana backs him up, but gets caught in it too. Aladdin summons Ugo, and now he's having to stare down with this masked man. This nigga is clearly Alibaba though.
Yeah, this nigga is clearly Alibaba. If y'all didn't catch on, this nigga is clearly Alibaba.
He's saying that he can't keep his promise with Aladdin. Then he pops his jinn ability to escape the army. Alibaba is having internal conflicts though, and when he gets home, he finds Morgiana waiting for him. She forces him to go back to Aladdin and explain why he's misbehaving. Anyway, this country is completely fucked. Most of the population is straight in the trenches. The Co-Empire is trying to take over. The new king is a bum, and they have an active civil war. This is also Alibaba's hometown.
This whole country is like, nigga, this country is like, what's a good? This shit is like, nigga, America. No, I'm just playing. That niggas don't take that shit too seriously. But for real, this country is like, what's a good, like, if you never watched this show, what's a good comparison? I guess like imagine if like Wano from One Piece. That's a good part. That's a good example. Wano from One Piece. This is what this country is like. Wano from One Piece.
But to understand why he's doing this, we need to understand his best friend Qasim's background. Qasim and his little sister used to get banged up by their pops, so Alibaba and his mum took him in. Though one day she fell ill and died. Qasim was a dog though, and he went to that street life route, and he was out there staining people. Then the former king of Baba pulls up to the slums, says Alibaba is actually his son, and his mother was a former maid at the palace. So after Qasim learned this, he's all like, I knew you weren't like us, and then Alibaba leaves. Years pass and Alibaba and Qasim reunites, but Qasim was only pretending he messed with Alibaba. He ended up following him home and using the tunnel Alibaba used to leave the palace in the first place to infiltrate the palace. And then he started robbing the place.
Yeah.
Hey, close that back door.
Can't get snaked by your homie. Anyway, man, this shit is crazy out here. These niggas slimy in these Magi worlds, man.
The convo gets cut short when Qasim and the gang pull up and try to rescue Alibaba. They try boxing Sinbad, Mazrur, and Jafar, but this isn't really in the tax bracket and they're getting fried. Mazrur steamrolls through them, then Qasim uses his binding weapon on Sinbad, but it doesn't work on him.
And by the way, this is Sinbad with no magical items. So, hold on. Yeah, but this is Sinbad with no magical items. Remember that. I forgot exactly what the items are called. Maybe he'll say in the video. But basically, them items, it's basically like a transformation, for real. A transformation to Dragon Ball Z. Or like, yeah, like a transformation Dragon Ball Z. That's probably the best way to describe it, for real. And then, but imagine him. Niggas in this universe, they only allowed one transformation, and it's a specific transformation, and it never changed. He has like 5 or 6. So he's OP as fuck. So that was their nerf. So this nigga just didn't wipe everything. And he feel me, the moment he appeared, they had to take everything away from him to nerf this nigga so these niggas could have a fair fight.
Goes well. He's Sinbad. What type of shit is this? Anyway, Sinbad is about to pack out Qasim, but Alibaba steps in. Again, they're in different tax brackets, so despite the jinn and all Alibaba's sword skill, he once again just noticed Alibaba.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about I want to join the Fog Trip. And this wasn't even really a question. He was basically telling them. Truth is, Sinbad I didn't really mess with that stupid king either. The next day, Alibaba shows up to the king asking to be reasonable. But he's just a snotty-nosed badass jit and dismisses him. Then Judal pulls up. This is the guy that was above the dungeon, like way back then. Anyway, this isn't really important, but I just wanted to display some of his steez. But yeah, this banker guy made the Balbad Empire give their entire trading rights to Co-Empire.
And by the way, that other nigga, he's a Magi just like Aladdin.
Judal just happens to be a part of that empire. Long story short, Alibaba is still pleading and old buddy says he doesn't speak broke and sends him away. Later that day, Judal pulls
Nah, that king, he was funny as fuck. I ain't gonna lie, that king was funny as fuck.
Unreasonable. So the second he hears Aladdin's a Magi, he pretends to greet him that he just rocks his shit.
Yeah.
Then he gets straight to shit talking Alibaba for
this nigga is literally the very opposite of Aladdin.
But nobody gets to talk to Aladdin's Alibaba like that and get away with it. Judal just blasts Alibaba away. Then Aladdin starts gathering group to fight back. Sinbad is trying to get them to stop, but even though he is Sinbad, without any of his metal vessels since he got robbed, even
the metal vessels, that's what they're called.
Fighting. End of the day, he's the metal ass nigga. Judal realizes since they're both loved by the Magi, they can't even fight using it, so instead he shows them his magic. These are different, by the way. He creates lightning magic, and luckily Ugo steps in to block that, but Judal is relentless. He uses his signature, which is ice magic, and he starts raining hell on these niggas. Regulus, is that you? Eventually, the barrage becomes too much, and Ugo has to use his own body to protect Aladdin. Aladdin is trying to recall Ugo, but that boy is no longer listening. He's out there like an over-leveled Pokemon. Alibaba attacks, but that's really only a distraction. He does at least make him bleed though. But yeah, he gets rocked right after. And the rocker gets rocked right after that. Ugo just clotheslines him. Then he initiates a ground and pound right after. Just check this hook.
Ugo was just going crazy.
Ugo isn't even operating as his djinn anymore before skewering Ugo with an icicle spear. But Ugo won't go down without a real fight.
Ugo was going crazy right here.
Then he pops up.
Ugo was going fucking crazy right here.
With a whole new convoy. They slid for their gang immediately. Ugo is still trying to box though, but this proves to be too tall a task because this woman has a metal vessel that she can djinn equip. And from there, it was GG's. Ugo got a crater in his chest. So Aladdin tries to stand on business and pulls up on them. And the princess realizes that it must have been all these guys who ran up on their boy. So she's like, everybody's gonna have to hold it then. And then she lets out 3 of her guards while she personally will box with Aladdin. And them guys are fighting everyone on almost equal footing. The Princess of Ko is about to fully manifest her djinn form, but Sinbad cancels it, and as soon as she learns that he's Sinbad, she starts blushing and shit.
Yeah,
Sinbad
she starts dick riding, glazing the fuck out of this nigga.
Despite being in high positions, and then she goes all tsundere and tells everyone to leave for today. Maybe I gotta grow my hair and dye purple, man. They check on Alibaba,
I mean, maybe that's the method.
Magi to bring him back. The deputy king pulls up, and he starts begging Alibaba to change the country like he's Kai Sanat. They explain how the country's economy failed due to taking out continuous loans. Now they just gonna find people slaves to raise some bread.
If I see that, I say that, bro. That shit is funny for no reason. I really do not like that I laugh at that. Casanat save us meme, bro. I do not like that I laugh at that shit, bro.
This has got to be the worst dictator in history. Don't take that literally. And you know, Morgiana being a former slave and all gets all fired up to take about the country. It cuts to Alibaba and Kasim having a heated argument on how to overthrow the empire.
He got the chop chin for real.
Alibaba is opposed to it. The debate doesn't go down well, and at least Alibaba asking Sinbad to train him on how to use his djinn properly. Now Alibaba decides to pull up on the palace on his jacks to intercept Kasim on the fog trip. The Princess of Ko is set to marry King Ahmad in a political marriage, and she's wondering if he'll be a good-looking guy. Does she know? In the palace, Alibaba calls her Ahmad, but the Co-Princess's guards are now the Alibaba Empire's guards because I don't really know, gifts or some shit. Now Alibaba has to fight all of them. He's up against this elephant dude, and the entire time he's just trying to use the djinn equip mode he's been practicing, but it won't work. He gets rocked and it's all but 5 seconds from dying before he gets a little flashback of all his homies, and yeah, you know anime, you know he's about to cook. He materializes Amon his djinn's weapon, and just look how tough this is. He ends up one-shotting bro. He's on to the next, and since it's his first time, he's running out Mago really fast. And that's when his little squeeze Morgiana steps in and cracks the other guard in the jaw. I mean, look at Alibaba's face, he is starstruck. Anyway, she tells him she'll be by herself and throws him into the palace. I don't know what type of love this is, but hey, it's blossoming, and I'm all for it. Alibaba beats the next guard, and Morgiana puts a donor on the other one, so now Alibaba is face to face with the king. The deputy and army general commands its soldiers to stand down and not
cooking right here, bro.
To summarize, Alibaba basically showed the whole nation that nobody messes with his bum Ahmad, and then he stated Balbad would become a republic state and abolish the monarchy. The co-princess then pulls up and she finds out her fiance is this 300-pound 4'11" guy. But since there's technically no king anymore because the coup was successful, she doesn't have to marry him, so she's low-key rejoicing on the inside. Alibaba pleads with her to tell her father to abolish the treaties between their countries already in place. Then Sinbad declared the country of Balbad is now allied with his country Sindria, so she accepts and leaves. And all is well. Not entirely. They've been forcing us to notice this one shady guy for the last 3 episodes, so he's obviously
this nigga. Nigga, outbite. Nigga, watch the fuck out. But this nigga right here. This nigga right here. He was a demon, I ain't gonna lie. But you know, anime bullshits a lot. You know, and I love anime, but anime bullshits a lot because nigga, how is nobody suspicious of this nigga? Like, this nigga don't even look like a good person. Like, he hasn't shown his face once. And then in the show, he barely talked. Like, he was always just in the background with the staff. I'm pretty sure he put the bitch over his face like that. He used that shit as his eyes too. Like, what sane nigga does that? Come on. What sane person does that?
Some sort of plot importance. But even got Black Rook flying around.
Yeah, he got Black Rook flying around. Rook is like, only Magi can see it. So if Aladdin was to see him, Aladdin would see all that shit flying around him. It's kind of like the dark side of the force for real. The dark side, the light side of the force. That's basically that. You feel me? That's basically a way to explain this. Dark side and light side of the force.
Fight anymore. But he gets straight to gaslighting the civilians. They robbed our nation. They took our bread. Nigga, they even took the hose. The hose.
The hose.
Someone got to pay for this. And yeah, that was enough. The civilians got right to Dickie.
Yeah.
Aladdin was snoozing this whole time.
You can't take the hose.
He's in his own mind talking to Ugo. Basically, Ugo isn't even really his djinn. He was just holding it down. And Ugo could no longer be with Aladdin on this journey. So they unfortunately got to part ways. And Aladdin is sent back to the real world. Speaking of real worlds, Alibaba is confronted by Qasim and friends. But with that burner arm on Alibaba's hip, he makes the quickest to work with them. But Alibaba doesn't have the backdoor trait and can't bring himself to hurt his day one. So Qasim takes advantage of that and continues on his quest. He realizes that his whole crew has been captured, so he resorts to using the power of his fake metal vessel that one shady guy gave him. The catch here is that it'll probably end his life as he's not deemed a worthy host. Qasim puts a hole in his own chest, that's like the third one in this arc alone, and begins his transformation, ending up as this black demon. He letting go whole hollow purples in that bitch. Amon cuts his arm off but just grows back using the black rook. Sinbad plunges his arm into the black jinn's back in order to hold it down long enough for Alibaba to destroy. Alibaba is finally able to use the jinn equip on his arms, but he sees Qasim's face and gets cold feet again. He sees the military isn't standing down and charges an attack to defeat the monster. As he's about to land him, Judal pulls up and swats him away. And now it's low-key over with. But coming in hot from afar is
low-key
the
GG's
Minister
now.
of Happy Hands, though he is still far away, so they gotta deal with this shit alone. Sinbad is pinned and frozen while Alibaba asks to be thrown into the sky with them by Morgiana. He's sent back down and Amon breaks, but he doesn't give up and is able to successfully hold off until Aladdin lands. Aladdin can no longer bring out Ugo, but is able to manifest his form using magic and blocks Judal's attack. He expels one of his attacks, but it doesn't do much except melt the ice off Sinbad. Aladdin declares that yeah, he's just gonna lose. I mean, like, I appreciate the realism, but that's way too blunt. Like, are you not meant to be a shonen main character? Though Aladdin says that maybe Alibaba can win.
It's literally it did confuse me. Like, this nigga came in on code and shit, and then just he get like two of his flat attacks, the flat that he deflects attacks, and then he just like, yo, I'm gonna lose this shit. Like, there's no way I'm gonna win this shit. It's over with. I was like, okay. So what the fuck did you come for? Just to get our hopes up? But just
hopes of all the people who still want to change the country. Aladdin makes a flame dome for Amon to feast on, growing the sword back. Alibaba's attack results in him being consumed by the black jinn. So Aladdin.
Oh, let me explain that part, because that might have been too much. Because I know if I didn't watch the show, I don't know what the fuck just happened. You feel me? So let me explain it to y'all. Basically, Alibaba's metal vessel, that's his jinn. His metal vessel is his jinn. His metal vessel is basically can absorb fire, and it technically is fire. So he regened his metal vessel, but he basically just rebuilt his sword by using the fire that Aladdin made.
Aladdin has this new technique called Solomon's Vision, which allows him to telepathically communicate and show people things, I think. And he shows Judal something that sends him into psychosis. It's pretty unclear what it all means, but by the way he's reacting, the only explanation I can think of is that he
hit him
sees
with
the
a
future,
genjutsu.
and it's that fumbled a bad bitch like Coco Jones. Alibaba is now inside the gym, and it's tasked with bringing Qasim back out of it. They're going back and forth, going trench for trench. His arc getting long as a bitch, so I'm trying to speed this up. Anyway, Qasim gets that Obito treatment. He sees the light. It's a pretty heartfelt moment, but I'm not going to go into it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So Qasim leaves this world, and Judal let one shady guy retreat for the time being. But there's something he didn't factor in. Mazur kicks old buddy to the ground, and Jafar attacks too. But do you notice something? There's a little element around their attacks. He got his chain back. Standing there cold as shit is first class singularity Sinbad. and peep the fits.
Peep
oh my
the fit.
goodness.
Peep the
And then he
fit.
sends a
Y'all know
vote
that nigga look cold.
into the skybox, deleting him.
This is why he didn't have his metal vessel. This is why he didn't have his metal vessel. Y'all see why now. This nigga is too OP. If he would have had his metal vessel this whole time, there would be no fights. It would just be talking and story. You feel me?
Though I'm not sure where Jadal went. Also, that one shady guy narrowly escaped as a snake in the water. Aladdin gives form to all the dead and allows them to be fully saved after saying their goodbyes. And so, this fuck-ass arc is over. But we're still going, so like and subscribe, drink some water, and dial back in. A month passes, and the people of Balbat have secured their own rights.
Let me go get some water, because I have been chatting. You know, like, this boy look clean. He got them two clean ass rings on his hand. That shit clean. He got the drip. Oh yeah, he got his drip back. That boy got the drip back. Yeah. These are his metal vessels, by the way. Them two rings are two different transformations. The chains he got on, those his transformation in that's his transformation. The earrings and everything, those are his metal vessels.
Aladdin
this nigga is so fucking cold,
develop the power to fight against the now known evil Altamen. These guys are the guys who are behind all the Balbat BS. Anyway, two of Simba's generals are going to teach Aladdin and Alibaba magic and the sword respectively. Aladdin is particularly excited because this instructor is some fine shit. They meet all of Simba's generals and they have a nice festival. I mean, look at Morgiana go. They're really enjoying themselves. After straight boxing for 10 episodes, it's good to have a change of pace. Alibaba has to replace his broken sword by transferring his Jinn to the metal vessel, and Simba bestows the knife that Alibaba's father once gave him. To transfer Jinn, the metal vessel must be one with strong emotional attachment and fit the description. Even the way he took the sword was some aura farmer shit. Like, where did the light even come from? I swear this BS happens anytime Sinbad is on the screen. They want to pick out another household vessel for Morgiana to use some of Amon's power too, and they settle on the shackles from before. Then the Prince Hakuryu and the Princess of Ko arrive in Sindria, and Hakuryu is there to overthrow the Ko Empire, who he believes is rotten. Hakuryu is tasked with gaining knowledge of Sindria first and talking to Alibaba and friends, while Morgiana is showing off her new anklets. Hakuryu and Kogekyu pull up and start conversation, but the passive aggressiveness is crazy. Aladdin still remembers what she did to Ugo, and Alibaba feels some type of way about Hakuryu. Actually, he low-key hates the nigga. He has an infected blight on his arm that gets out of hand, leading him to be hospitalized. Then that one shady guy just emerges from it. Simba cuts him down, but the blood splatters on him, leading him to be infected too. Apparently, it turns their Rook black and slowly kills them. Then Brody just disappears. Gotta respect
this nigga just a hoe. He basically just came and just hold him for no reason. That's it.
Simba lets him know that there's a dungeon that heals any wound if it's cleared, and they should go to do it. Though he can't come because when he cleared his 7th dungeon, the Jinn was basically like, "Alright gang, that's enough." And so he isn't even allowed to enter dungeons.
Yeah, this nigga is so good. He's so fucking overpowered. They like, nigga, just stop. You're not allowed to get no more transformations. You can't have no more metal vessels. Stop.
World have to step in to nerf this nigga. They arrive at the city Zagan, and this girl comes up to them asking them to go in the dungeon with them. But she's a smooth like 6 years old, so she just get her head blown clean off. So Hakuryu promises to save her parents in the dungeon. They make their way there and they pull into the dungeon before they get to the door. Now, you know how the dungeons be. They're out there fighting bullshit. Like, take this talking stuffed animal begging for honey as an example. They get to another dungeon room and the Jinn Zagan is in there turning humans into trees to create the dungeon monsters. He's different because he hates humans and doesn't want to master. He disappears and says he will give back this kid if they make it to the dungeon room. After some dungeon shenanigans, they're split into groups of 2, and Hakuryu, who's been a bum the whole time in the dungeon so far, wants to prove himself by fighting alone. He unfortunately can't do it and gets knocked out. When he wakes up, Morgiana saved him. He starts crying because of his own weakness. He's whining, and this ends up making Alibaba realize that he doesn't actually hate him, thus solving that issue. Him and Alibaba share the fact that he felt weak and officially became friends. Hooray. That happiness is
bro still ass. Just because he accepted it don't mean he's not ass.
He basically showed up to rage bait and tells Simba that Altaman is going to wage war on them very soon, and that they've even sent people over to Zagan. In Zagan, turns out Zagan the Jinn isn't actually Zagan's real body. It's just a monster he created to look like him. The monster continuously regenerates using the earth, and to defeat him, they must defeat his main body, except it's down this giant crater, and at the bottom is straight gastric acid. End up free falling inside to their doom, and through sheer willpower, Morgiana unlocks her household vessel's ability and uses the chains to grab onto the others before climbing back out. And she's feeling herself, so she jumps back into the pit to defeat the main body by herself. She ain't really think about it though, because she's about to land right into old buddy's mouth. But then the flames of Amon come to her aid, and she hits this clean ass flame chain attack on the main body, thus defeating Zagan's clone. Though in doing so, she uses a lot of her Magi, so she starts bleeding out the eyes like she's 5 Kage summoned Sasuke before collapsing. They make it to the main dungeon room, but they are immediately met with these guys. Alpha men sent to beat them.
This show is so fucking good. I gotta watch this shit again.
They really get no breaks in this bitch. So their ops get dark metal vessels that activate by donating themselves, and they turn into black djinns just like Qasim. This sparks a little PTSD in Alibaba, worsening his blight. Back in Sindria, Jidal tells Sinbad not to die until he can kill him himself, then dips out of there. Though Sinbad is getting the plot treatment, he can't use Magoi because of his curse. Honestly,
so I know I'm explaining a lot right now. I'm yapping, but I'm really just trying to keep y'all, because I know there's a lot going on right now. So I'm trying to keep y'all not confused. You feel me? Coherent on the straight path. You feel me? So, basically, that black shit on them, they can't use no magic, or it's gonna make that shit spread even faster. You feel me? And then if you go through trauma, you're going through any bad moment, or you PTSD, anything that's just trauma filled or just causes something bad to happen to you, it makes it spread even more. And the Magis, only Magis can kill other Magis, so that's why he just sitting there just rage baiting the fuck out of Sinbad, because Sinbad can't do shit to him.
It's really because if he was able to use his abilities, this show would not exist. Alibaba is getting punked by the Ultimate Swordsman, but he decides to change how he uses Amon by keeping his blade's natural form, a style he's a lot more comfortable with. And now he can get to work and go buddy here. Aladdin is cooking up too. He's letting Magoi shots sing like Adele, and the black djinn is getting worn out. Alibaba is able to piece up his opponent, and just as Aladdin is about to wipe out the other djinn, that one shady guy forces her to transform again, giving her a full body djinn equip. As for the other guy, he just reattaches his limbs, and now he's on some super speed bullshit. Alibaba is getting cooked, but Hakuyu steps in just in time to save him. Now it's all kicking off in Sindria. The opposition forces are advancing. On the flip side, the djinn equipped woman is loading up a massive attack, and her knight is holding everyone off. They can't even get close to him. It's boys versus men. He's about to cut down Alibaba, and that's when Hakuyu steps in front of him and loses his arm in the process.
Bro.
Then her attack is ready, and she's raining down swords, just like Gilgamesh. Fade Zero.
No, this is just anime plot bullshit.
It cuts back to Sindria, and all of Sinbad's generals are low-key getting baked by these djinn-equipped freaks. Not to mention this purple wave that's dead as just melting anything it touches. Aladdin uses a technique that allows him to reflect a light image of himself, making the woman miss her attack. Then Alibaba catches them off guard, slashing the knight Isaac. Turns out her knight wasn't even a real person and was just a puppet she was moving made of sand. The shot completely disheartens her, so that one shady guy backdoors her and stabs her in the back. Shit really treacherous out here, man. I know I said Sinbad's generals were getting cooked, but nah, their chains stay strapped. Mazra donuts this guy, that's gotta be like the 17th one in the series. Then right after, Alibaba's mentor smokes the other dude. Alibaba gets mad at that one shady guy and releases a seal on his Magoi being lifted. However, this is what was keeping his illness from spreading. Alibaba sees her memories and is sympathizing with the black rook in her heart, and leading him to be blighted even more. He begins to curse how the world is. That one shady guy declares himself as the reason behind all of Alibaba's misfortune, baiting him into cursing him, and Alibaba becomes the Black King. I know why they throwing around that title like I don't exist, but hey.
Yeah, Black King, nigga. Am I right? Am I not right here? Why we just gotta make one?
Is this nigga right serious?
But now Alibaba has his cold ass form. Shit getting dicey in Sindria, and Aladdin's teacher's fighting too.
Pause! What is that?
And I've ignored it up to now, but what exactly is she fighting? Like, this is just an ancient man in a wheelchair. They just be doing anything. Alibaba's fighting Morgiana, who is barely recovered.
Alternate universe, Mr. Terrific.
So the little eye possessing Alibaba intervenes and sends her away. Hakuyu decides to finally stop being a bum and calls on Zagan, who decided he'd make Hakuyu his master. And the power of the earth allows Hakuyu to develop a wooden arm. The three of them are able to break the mind control eye on Alibaba, and Aladdin uses Solomon's wisdom on him to enter his mind and search for him. Back in Sindria, once more Aladdin's teachers get an attack, and it leads to her clothing and accessories being damaged. The old frat gets all excited for better or worse.
They know they did that on purpose. Kind of bad. They just being freaks.
Jin equips final attack, but unfortunately for him, she has magic to reflect the attack and wiped out half of the purple slop that was engulfing the country. The old fart charges right at her, but ends up getting donated by Mishra. And if you haven't watched the last video, this dude is like a completely different man than before. The Princess of Ko also comes and uses her Jin equip to send away.
We're gonna watch the same bad video,
and with that, defense is successful. Alibaba successfully pulled out the Privity by Aladdin, and that one shady guy thinks he's overall done a good job, so he's dipping. Then, it's time for offense. Sinbad steps out of the teleportation circle and asks that one shady guy if he thought that he'd actually get away with starting a war with his country. Then he uses his Jin equip. Now, this should be a bad idea because his curse will spread, but listen to this. This nigga Sinbad is already cursed and halfway to the dark side. He just didn't really feel like fighting until now. What the fuck is this?
What I tell y'all? Bullshit. This nigga is too OP. If they would have allowed it, I gotta put my headphones down for this. If they would have allowed this nigga to do remotely anything, there would be no Magi. There would be no show called Magi because he would have just ended everything. So basically, every plot point that they created, it wasn't a plot for him. It was just, oh shit, I got a reason not to fight now. I could just make up some bullshit. Oh yeah, I can't. Oh man, I'm cursed. Like, this nigga's OP. He's too OP.
And now he's letting go of big land attacks before destroying that one shady guy's main body. Inside of Alibaba's mind, that one shady guy is still there, but he is powerless as his main body has been killed. All that's left now is to remove him, and they're able to do so successfully with the help of Aladdin. So now, the people of Zagan were saved, Zagan the Jinn was captured, the curses are gone, and the war is won. And with that, this video is finished. There's still one more season to cover. You'll be sure to see another part of Magi. Make sure to subscribe.
Man, we watching that video.
20K. But hey, it's been Narratives. Peace. Hey,
Peace.
Bro, who you think was the baddest in the show? Man, it had to have been Alibaba's mom.
This is getting ridiculous. Follow the scroll.
That's a dead woman. That's a dead woman.